What's up, everybody? This is Jay, and this is the Shy Season 3, Episode 1 recap for them, aka for them. Now, the Shy Season 3 went through a lot of changes. Two of the main cast members are gone. We're going to see how they're going to bring the new cast along. Before we get into it, if you're new, please subscribe, bang that bell so you're notified of all my new videos. And if you enjoy the video, please hit that like, recommend it to others. Let's get into it. Now, the episode starts off with Kev and his mom, and they're talking about they can't believe Keisha late to mom's wedding. Next thing you know, we see Keisha running, and she finally makes it to the wedding, and now it's about to start. We see they got Rick Ross in attendance on the side. They on the lakefront. It seemed like it's about to be a nice little thing going down. We see Kev's mom is getting ready to walk down the aisle. Kev is the one walking with her like a nice young man. And so we see her spouse, Drea, is sitting there waiting for her or whatever. And so we see Donnell and Jada, and they coming to the wedding running late, talking and arguing or whatever. And so now we see that they going through with the wedding, but before they do, Drea had some things to say, vows or whatever, for the kids. And so she was saying, you guys are special, and but Keisha really wasn't trying to hear it. You could tell she don't like Drea. And she was saying, Kev, you've been through more, and you so strong, and this and that. And then she had a little gift and gave them each a piece of little bling or whatever, and a little sentimental piece. And so Kev was happy. Keisha really ain't give a damn. And then the next thing you know, they was pronounced two honest women no longer shacking up. And so it was all good. It seemed like, a beautiful thing. You see two people coming together. And that's kind of the craziness of Chicago, is you can see beauty on one side, but in the very same day, death. And so Kev hop on the bus after the wedding. We see he coming up, Ronnie trying to get in, and they wasn't letting him in. And he said, he saw Kev, he said, "Hey, what up, man? Hey, you can vouch for me, right?" And he said, "No," and walked right past Ronnie and left drunk ass Ronnie sitting on the steps like he was begging for spare change. And so later we see it's the funeral for Brandon. So we don't know what happened. They didn't get into how he got killed, but we see it's the funeral. We see his mama then came back, which is good, and she did a hell of a performance. You would think that this was a real situation, how much she was talking, and she was saying how nobody loved me and I didn't have nothing to give but my pain. They done took my boys and I ain't got nothing. Had everybody crying in the whole place. I mean, she had some real sad things to say about herself and how she wasn't loved and how she didn't know how to love and everything. Back at the wedding reception, you got the two aunties talking about, "Well, it's good to see your girl going to college. You was so fast. I just knew you was gonna be pregnant." She like, "I was not fast." They said, "Girl, we know about them older men. You just go ahead." So it's always aunties in the business. Meanwhile, we see wine old Ronnie sitting there sipping on a bottle of syrup. And so we see he was right in front of the church still. And then when the services is over, he tried to pop up out the way, and they load Kev and everybody load little easy body in there. It didn't take much. It only needed a four-door car because it was so little. And so then we see Gravy say, "Man, what you doing here? Get your ass out of here, boy." And so while he escorting Ronnie out the way, here come old Daddy Green's Pizza, and he come over here talking about, "Sorry for your loss." She like, "I don't need nothing from you. Get the hell out of my face." And so he said, "My son never mentioned you before." He said, "Well, if there's anything I can do, I'd like to help." And he tried to give her his card, and she looked at the card and threw it on the ground and said, "I don't need nothing from your ass," and left. She was real bitter, wasn't trying to hear nothing. And when she was in the car, Emmett tried to give his condolences. She like, "You know what? You need to get the hell out of Dodge. This city don't love you. What you gonna do, huh?" He like, "I'm gonna try to keep your son dream alive. Get out of here. Don't nobody love this. This city don't love you." And so Perry seeing all this take place, but little did he know that it was some people with their eye on him and watching what he had going on. And he didn't know that his days may be numbered soon. Meanwhile, at the wedding, we see Emmett and Kev bond, and Emmett say he got his back even though Brandon is gone. We see at the wedding, they going through the little regular wedding motion. She trying to get the garter strap. Emmett walk in. He like, man, I love lesbians. Of course, Kev is embarrassed. Now they going on with everything. She throw the little garter belt, and of all people to catch it, Big Papa caught it. He don't know what to do with it. See later that Emmett is doing the catering for the event. Jada trying to help him. He got a lot of stress going on coming from the funeral with Brandon. Plus, he telling his mama, stop trying to get with Darnell. He trying to play you. So she like, who you talking to? Meanwhile, we see the little photographer. Y'all get together, say smile, girls. They like, don't tell no girls to smile. He like, well, act like y'all like each other. And so later we see they taking the pictures. Kev and his sister putting together their little plan to have their little party while they got the house to each other. Meanwhile, everybody dancing, but Jada don't want to dance with Darnell after Emmett gave her a hard time, so she don't want to dance with him. Meanwhile, the kids in the back getting drunk. Papa talking about, this ain't nothing but the blood of Jesus. We see that Jake pour out some. He like, that's for my brother Jake, because she little hood mouse talking about, why you pouring it out? She ain't a full-grown hood rat yet. Then Kev come and he pour out a little. That's for Brandon, even though they pouring it on the floor, making a mess. And so now they got a lot of stuff they got to deal with at a young age. Loss of friends, family. Meanwhile, we see Keisha out talking with Emmett, and he's saying, you need to go away to school. And she like, I don't want to leave. He said, you gonna get pregnant and working at CVS. She like, what's wrong with that? Which was the worst thing ever. Meanwhile, Ronnie go check on his grandma, and he see that she done been evicted. And in Chicago, they put your stuff out right in the grass. And so, yeah, she done been evicted. They done finally got old Miss Ethel out of her place. Meanwhile, everybody dancing. Jada start dancing with Drea, but then the food comes, so she gotta leave. And so while she leave, here come this old player from the Himalayas. Hey, a woman don't know what she want till she 45. Meanwhile, Emmett see they didn't order pizza. He didn't got embarrassed, but she like, look, you've been through a lot. Here's your money. I give you the other half tomorrow. And so, you know, he upset, but he understand. Papa, he done passed out on his ass now off the blood of Jesus. And Kev, he feeling loose and everything. And so now Keisha walk in like, how y'all drinking without me? And so while she talking to them about them drinking the expensive stuff, here come Drea walk in. So she like, come on, it's time to dance. And so she trying to hide the bottle and talking about, yeah, here we come. And so then we see everybody out there doing the electric slide, popping or whatever. Meanwhile, we see that Doodah done had a meeting with Red Rooster hot sauce. And so while they talking, they done got shot. They didn't know who called the meeting. Then we see that it's Luke James, aka Vincent, and he like, yeah, how he still breathing? I done figured out who killed my brother all the way in Kankakee. What took you so long? He like, I had to be sure. He like, so what's up with my brother, man? I need my brother back. You should have had called me. He said, I did, but he told me you was dead. And so they had a little standoff or whatever, and next thing you know, we see that the moms is getting ready to go on their honeymoon. They done gave Keisha a little money to take care of everything. She complaining, this ain't that much. They like, don't look no gift horse in the grill. And so later we see that Emmett, he back with his baby mama. She rolling up pounds of weed for sale. And so he telling her about his stress-filled day and stuff and just trying to vent. Meanwhile, we see on the other side of town is honeymoon night. And so we see they done got them a little hotel room and everything, and they all getting together. And she, next thing you know, is packing more plastic than American Express. And it seemed like mama was liking that too. And so next thing you know, they got a little graphic on there for a minute. But we see the next morning they wake up and they reading the paper and they see that Otis Perry trying to run for mayor. And so he done taking pictures and stuff and whatever. Meanwhile, Kev and the crew smoking, trying to have them a little get together. Keisha come out with a little do-me outfit on. Even Jake said, I see you, Keisha. She got a little tickle bitties hanging out. So they putting their little lies and plan together on how she gonna be out all night and how they got the house. So they trying to get a little hood mouse together, a little hood mice, so they can have a little fun. And they like, yeah, bring the girls. We gonna have a little, sleepover. And so later we see that Keisha come to give Emmett Emmett the money, and Tiffany ain't really like her coming over there like that. And so she like, here's the money. And so Emmett, he's still trying to be cool with her, but Tiffany like, don't be coming over here dressed like that. She like, I'm dressed for my man, not yours. Sorry. And so when she leaving, Emmett like, hey, hold on, let me talk to you. Hey, you know you always got love in my heart. You know I always gonna love you. She like, you being messy, Emmett. He like, no, it ain't like that. So anyway, we see he growing. Meanwhile, Luke James, he done came Vincent with his girl or whatever, and now they inside of Jake old place. And they already deciding what they gonna do with it when all of a sudden his mom's walk in. So this is the first time we see her, and he like, what you doing? Where my brother at? How much you sell him for? And she said, 5,000. But if that rich nigga won't take care of him, let him. And she like, how could you do that? Huh? How could you let that happen? You should have called me. I didn't know you wanted him. He said, I took him if I'd have known you would do this. She said, well, why didn't you? Because I ain't his mama. I give you the money, get him back. So they end up bonding. She gonna go and get the son back. Meanwhile, we see that Kev is opening the door for the girls, but Maisha there, he like, what? Maisha? So everybody looking like this could be trouble. But she like, yeah, it's cool. You didn't know we was cool, but we cool. So now they putting together a little plan. Meanwhile, Papa like, I don't know what the summer did, but it was good to Maisha. They like, hey, it swolled her up. He like, but they, can I get some quality time with her? They like, all right, let's divide and conquer. So they done split it up on how they gonna break it down. Meanwhile, at the bar, we see Ronnie getting lit, and his friends like, man, I don't care what nobody say about you, you still my boy. What they say? Hey, you took a life. So he ended up leaving, and he gone and had a little bottle of syrup in his back pocket. Meanwhile, Papa then connected with Maisha. He in love or whatever. And so they like, damn, what happened? What did y'all do? He like, man, I connected with her on an intellectual level, man. We like really bonded. They like, what did y'all do? I fingered her. Jake like, I smashed. Meanwhile, we see Otis Perry, right-hand man, getting set up and robbed by Vincent. He like, you don't know who money this is, do you? Meanwhile, we see Keisha still half naked in the middle of the night on the bus stop alone texting when drunk ass Ronnie walk up, and then they have a little stare down. She get a little scared, finally decide to cover up her little tickle bitties, but he keep it moving. He gave her a little look, hey, I don't want none of that, and he moved along. But the bus comes, and it was right there, almost in view before Ronnie walked. When the bus driver come, he stopped, he opened up, look for somebody or something, but nobody's there. All you see is just stuff left, and Keisha's stuff there. And we see her phone is broken, so we don't know what happened to her. Now, it's time for real talk. Now, I don't think Ronnie did anything to her. That's too obvious. And most shows, when they show you the obvious, it's a fake out, unless we talking about Power. They try to make you think they faking out when they show you the obvious and end up doing it any damn way. Nevertheless, Ronnie, if you think about it, didn't do any crimes other than what he did with Coogie, but he thought that that was the person that killed his son that he raised. So that was a revenge situation. But other than that, Ronnie ain't nothing but a drunk. Yeah, I'm drunk, but I don't take no coochie. So I don't think Ronnie had nothing to do with it, but it didn't make sense to me that she would be sitting half naked in the middle of the night at the bus stop like that. Why she can't get a Lyft or an Uber or something, or nobody pick her up? And then for the bus driver to stop and then look for her, normally if nobody there, they just keep going. So was she texting the bus driver? I mean, who was she texting? So it's a lot of mystery involved with that. Another thing, I think that this episode was good, but I think they focused a little too much on the wedding and then also on the honeymoon, and that's fine or whatever, but we could have had more information about what happened with Brandon or what happened with Reg and stuff like that, versus focusing so much on that other stuff. And overall, I think that they have a good chance of having a great season if they focus on the kids a lot more. I think they're gonna focus a lot on Keisha. I think she may even be dead, actually. The way that they have all her picture front and center on all of the marketing stuff for Shy, and how they saying we gonna see what Keisha sore or this or that. I don't know. We'll see. It must be some traumatic experience, and we're gonna understand and learn more as the season progresses. But overall, I think it was good. It was funny to me to see how fast the young kids grow up. They dealing with death, sex, drugs, all of this stuff, and they ain't even in high school yet. And you grow up really fast in Chicago, and that's something I didn't realize until I went to other places and saw people doing things that we did when we was kids, and they're grown just now doing that stuff. And you would think, man, you still doing this at this age? But nevertheless, it was interesting. It was a good episode. I hope you all liked it, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.